Hi, I'm Sam. Welcome to my channel. I'm an artist and business coach, and I help other artists to grow in skills and confidence, and also to create a business making serious money doing what they love every day. In this video, I'm going to be talking about goals and visions and dreams, because I think it's really important to have a bit of a plan if you're going to be growing an art business, but also the pitfalls of relying too much on that plan and realizing that it can actually be a little bit overwhelming. A lot of business coaches have told me, and I've looked up online, and I've done a lot of research about this, talk about having a big vision, a dream of what you want to have going forward. Now, this can be things like, a bigger house or more money in the bank, lovely holidays, all of these things that you would love to do with the money, helping others, setting up things in the community, giving more to charity, all of these things that would be lovely to have or to do if you had more money. And I think this is really important to do, because it's about building that vision in your mind and having the mindset and the dream that you are going to be able to achieve it, and actually what it is you want to achieve. What is it that you actually want to do? We love creating pictures in our brains. They respond really well to stories and actually having a clear picture in our mind. That's why we're so good at worrying, because we can make up such great scenarios. There's pros and cons to both, but really using the advantage of the brain having such a good imagination, we can actually dream really clearly about what it is we actually want. And I think that's important, to write it down and to have a clear vision going forward. Some people like to make vision boards, or some people just like to create like a mind map of what that is. So I think that's a really good step to start with when you are starting a business, but you also need a clear path on how you're going to get there. So I think breaking it down into what it is that you would like your business to be every day. What would you like to be doing? Is it teaching, setting up a Patreon or an online teaching channel? Is it that you want to sell your originals and have exhibitions? Is it that you want to create prints and merchandise from your drawings? You could put it onto materials, you could put it onto tote bags or mugs or cushions. Lots of different ideas when it comes to how you can use the art that you create. Do you want to be a content creator or an influencer, or work with brands and using all of the different things to kind of advertise using social media for what it's really good at? There's lots of different things, or lots of different income streams that you can have as an artist, and a lot of them branch off into other things as well. But I think it's important to not get carried away with too many things to begin with, because what that can do is lead to a little bit of overwhelm. So I think it's quite nice. This is what I've worked out over the years of being in business, is actually simplifying makes things so much better. I think this is why when we clear our desks, it makes us feel really good. When we clean our car, it seems to drive better. I think it does our brains a lot of good if things are clear of clutter, if that makes sense. So writing down, and I think it's really important to have a few different income streams when it comes to your art, because if one is a little bit less, then you can rely on the other ones. So what are the things that you would like to achieve with your art? So would you like to be having commissions? Write down a goal of how many commissions that you would like to do a month. And then possibly you would like to sell the original. So how many originals do you think that you could complete in a month, say? And maybe you would like to start making tutorials. Do you need to set up a Patreon? So maybe writing those three things down. And then I think the real important part, which is what a lot of people miss, is making steps and writing them clearly about how you're actually going to be achieving those goals. So what small actions can you take every day to work towards your bigger vision? And this is when I think making visions and setting goals, it's really important to not just do it one way. Think about how you respond to things. Do you get overwhelmed? Do you find that you get analysis paralysis, where you end up thinking, this is too big, it's freaking me out, and you end up not really doing anything? You're paralyzed by the fear of the massive bigger picture. So breaking things down under your titles of what you want to achieve, what steps can you take every day to achieve your goals? So for example, if you wanted to have commissions and you wanted to have 3 a month, for example, how are you going to get there? What are you going to do to be able to reach out to people to get those people to become customers? So are you going to put your work on social media? You're going to be brave, set up a Facebook business page? Are you going to be putting things on Instagram? Now, you aren't in control of how many people see your work. You know, the algorithm, we are a little bit of a slave to it, but there's nothing you can do about it. So there's no point in trying to fight it or worry about it. It's not something that you can do. What you are in control of is how many times you post, the quality of work that you're posting. Is it a good picture? You know, have you really taken it in good lighting? Can they really see what it's like? And is it the best work that you're creating? Are you proud of it? Because these are all things that are in your control. Are you going to be putting flyers around or postcards? Are you going to be taking things to your local veterinary surgery or dog walking area? There may be a cafe that's attached where a lot of people walk their dogs and, you know, have pets. Can you take a card there? Can you take something to your local bar or restaurant and put it up in their advertising space? There's lots of things that you can do that are going to help you achieve your goal. And although you might not see results immediately, there's always a lag phase. You know that you are putting steps in place and moving forward towards your bigger picture. If you are wanting to sell your originals and prints, are you actually talking about the fact that it's for sale? Are you putting your work in front of the people that you think might enjoy it and might buy it? See, this is another difficult thing with artists. A lot of the time, what we tend to do is feel like we need to follow what other people are doing because you see those people succeeding or being successful and you think, well, that's what sells, so I'm going to go that way. And it might not light you up. It might not be the work that you actually want to create. So I think it's more important to find your tribe and find the people that really like the work that you are doing. And they are out there. They are definitely out there. It's just finding them. It's finding the people that see a value in what you're doing. It's not that you're trying to fit in with what that style is. And I think over the years this has become more and more important because actually you can feel like you can put yourself into a bit of a box and you can get stuck in a rut. And I think that's really hard as a creative because it really squashes all of the creativity out of you. So I think it's important to find your tribe and the people that are going to really appreciate the work that you're doing. And when you find your true fans, I don't know if I hate that word. I always think of musicians, and I'm certainly not that, but I suppose it's a type of art. When you find the people that really love you, they will support you and follow you in whatever it is that you're doing. So just to summarize, I think it's really important to have a clear vision of your business going forward, what it is that you want to achieve, what are the things that you really want out of life, what do you feel would be success for you? Because if you don't write it down or you're not clear on it, how will you know when you get there? But then I think it's important to take a few steps back and think about the smaller things that we can do, celebrating our small successes. And that can be something as small as just ticking something off a list that you've done that day that is moving you towards your goal. So I found that I can get quite easily overwhelmed if I'm really focusing on the big picture and thinking, oh my goodness, I'm so far away from it. How am I going to get there? When I break it down and write these little steps and take each day at a time, what am I going to achieve each day? And then what I do is I'll check back into my bigger vision and see if I'm still aligned, because it's important that you don't keep kind of veering off course, because you'll end up with a really complicated business. And then you'll have to you kind of then have to undo all of the things that haven't really worked because you've been flip-flopping around from, oh, I'll try that and then I'll try that, and oh, she's doing that and she's succeeding at that. We've all done it, but I think it's important to really be clear on your goals, check back in with your bigger vision, but make a clear list of every day of the actions that you can do to move you towards the goals, to move you one step forward towards this bigger vision. The reason I've been thinking about this is that I've been reading a book by Christian Lewis. It's called Finding Hildesay, and I saw it on a Ben Fogle documentary, and he was in a really dark place. He was deep in depression and anxiety, and he was losing everything. He was being evicted, and he just had this voice in his head that said, walk the coast of the UK. And he just thought, what? That's crazy. But he did it. And one thing that really stuck out to me in the book was the fact that if he sat down and worked out exactly what he was going to be facing on this walk, he probably never would have done it. He just didn't want to have that overwhelming magnitude of the journey that he was just about to go on. It's a little bit like standing at the bottom of a mountain, looking up and seeing how far you've got to go, instead of looking at the next little step you've got forward. So that's what he did, and I found it so inspiring that he just thought about one step at a time, moving forward, not thinking too far ahead, not looking at all the things that could go wrong, all of the dangers, because that's when you get that overwhelm and paralysis and you end up just procrastinating. I've been there, I've done it. I completely know how you feel, which is why I think it's important not to get too caught up on the bigger vision, but just put one step in front of the other and just check in every now and again that you are actually moving towards your goal and not going off on a bit of a tangent. So I really hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to put them in the comments. If there's something that you're struggling with, if you like the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more. I put out art videos, art tip videos and tutorials on Tuesdays and business videos on Fridays. So I really look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.